his holdout as he wanted to be traded. $1 million, I know it's not a lot in the scheme of things for him, but it's a lot for me. Shannon, will Simmons be able to coexist with Joel Embiid and play for Doc Rivers?
Not for an extended period of time. This thing is about to be incredibly awkward, given what he said about wanting to play without Joel Embiid, considering what Joel Embiid has said about him. He still remembers what Doc Rivers said after the end of that Game 7 in Atlanta. It's about to be incredibly awkward. But, Skip, he had to now, I disagree with the path that he took. I believe being a professional athlete, you also need to be a professional, which means show up, do your job, make it abundantly clear that you want to be out. But I believe Ben Simmons chose this path because he didn't believe they were taking him serious. He talked about, look, I need you guys to move me. Nah, Ben, we want to get you back. So Ben says, you know what? I need to take matters in my own hand. I'm about to make this thing uncomfortable. I'm just finna start kicking over furniture. Boop, I ain't coming. I'm about to turn over pots and pans. I ain't coming. I'm about to break stuff, rip stuff off the wall. So he made it uncomfortable for everybody. So if the end result is Ben Simmons get traded, $1 million in fine that he what was the word I'm trying to use?
Right, I got it.
Whatever he chose to do, if it gets him out of there, it was money well spent. That's how he looks at it, Skip. Because we've seen guys, a lot of guys, what did Kimber give back to get up out of there and say, you know what, I can go to Brooklyn. Go to the Knicks. What did Blake Griffin give up? To get out of a situation? Now, he didn't give up. I don't believe he's going to give up what they gave up, but I believe he's going to get traded because he made it very uncomfortable. He let them know, I'm dead serious about this. I no longer want to play with Joel Embiid. I no longer want to play for Doc Rivers. I no longer want to play for the 76ers in this city. Now, it's about to get real uncomfortable, Skip. It's about to get real uncomfortable because things were said and guys are going to be in the same dressing room, the same locker room, on the same court. So it's going to get uncomfortable. And I believe the sooner, the better for everybody that's involved, for Joel, for Ben, for Doc, for the team, for everybody involved. The sooner that you can move Ben, the better off you'll be as a team and as an organization.
So are you predicting immediate disaster for the Sixers? When the regular season starts, do you think it will show on the court that they are dissension-racked?
I don't know if it's going to show on the court, Skip. I just think the thing is it's going to be some uneasiness because, Skip, it's hard to come to work when you know somebody has said something bad about you, and you got to work beside that person, right next to that person, and you know how your boss like, man, I don't know if we ever going to get this project accomplished with him on the court. Man, that makes for a very uncomfortable situation. But Ben, I'm a firm believer in being professional, handle it, let you know, like, look, I really know, like, I'm talking about like yesterday. I really need to be up out of here.
Okay. I stand by what I said when this all reared its ugly head in the beginning. I believe the Sixers do not want to trade Ben Simmons, and I believe they're going to do everything in their power to make this work again, to try to get it back to as normal as they can get it and hope that it starts to click again the way it did last year when all they did was have the best record in the regular season in the East and have the #1 seed going into the postseason.
Right.
It's hard to argue with the success that they have had together.
They've been in the playoffs, been all NBA.
And I believe that Daryl Morey and the Sixers ownership is entrusting Doc Rivers as, to me, the best mediator in the game as far as being able to peacemake among players. I think Doc is gifted as an orator and a massager of star egos.
Except that one time he wasn't good.
Well, which with the Clippers?
The time that he said he didn't know for certain that he could win a championship.
I got that. And that was a mistake. And he's tried to sort of gloss it over and hope that there's some forgiving and some forgetting. What Joel said, he stood by, and he said it was borderline disrespectful that Ben was even holding out.
Right. Okay. So how you think Ben's going to feel about that?
They're going to hope that the air got cleared through the media, that Ben took his stand and missed a big portion of camp and incurred the $1 million fine, whatever. Will they give it back? I don't know. Maybe they can. I'm not sure what the league rules are on that. There's probably a way to give it back. Maybe under the table a little bit. But you can make good on it, I believe. So I want to say one more time just how valuable I think Ben Simmons is, because we know he got the free throw demons. especially in Game 7, but really throughout the playoffs. And yet we also know he was the Rookie of the Year. He made then after that year 3 straight All-Star teams through last year. And the last 2 years he made first team All-Defense. Little known fact in Game 7 when he obviously turned down the pass and the dunk. And it was the flashpoint of that loss at home to the upstart Atlanta Hawks. Little known fact was that he held Trae Young in that game to 5 of 23 because he is a big-time perimeter or interior defender.
Right.
Take your pick.
Right.
6'10", long, gifted, smart, athletic.
Right.
He's got the whole package. Can he shoot? No, he can't shoot. Can he score? Yeah. When we saw him, I'm going to bring up that fateful game.
Can or won't shoot? I think it's more won't shoot than can't shoot.
I keep harking back to February 13th at Utah. No Joel Embiid. All he did was put 42 on Gobert, and he made 12 of 13 free throws. Don't tell me he can't.
Right.
The demons get in his head. He's a little difficult to sort of figure out,
right,
because he's like prideful to a fault.
Right.
And once he misses some, it's like, I don't want to be ashamed anymore.
Right.
And we've talked about Giannis. He has no shame.
Right.
He'll airball a free throw, airball 3, and he just goes right back. And the next thing you know, he's made 6 straight free throws. Well, I wish Ben had more of that in him because he's a very valuable player. And I think the Sixers realized we will be a little better with him than without him. Like, there's no way we can trade and get back equal value unless the Kyrie thing escalates to that point,
which it looks
where you could go player for player. That would work to me.
But Skip, right now, the reported that they offered Ben Simmons for C.J. McCollum 3 first-rounders and 3 pick swaps. Well, ain't nobody to skip. Okay. Nobody gonna do that. Come on.
I think it was lip service because I don't think they want to trade him.
I do.
Okay. And yet we'll see. But
Skip, they've tried to trade him before.
Okay. Well,
yes,
but they didn't.
Right, but because Fertitta didn't want to help Daryl Morey.
Okay, but that was different. That was James Harden.
But I'm saying, so that means they're willing to get.
Morey was in awe of James.
Right,
Harden.
but
so, he's like, yeah, I'll do that. Thank you, God.
But do you think they would? So. They ain't trading James Harden for Dame. Portland ain't making that trade.
No.
There are certain players that we believe that's our guy. The mere fact that they even would be willing to include. Skip, my grandma used to say, oh boy, the loneliest place in the world is a place that you're not wanted. I don't believe Philly want him.
Yep.
I don't believe he wants to be in Philly because they included him in the trade. They've made it abundantly clear that this team is centered around Joel Embiid. Now, Joel Embiid can say, well, let Jimmy Butler go and we brought in Al because I get all that. I get everything Joel Embiid is saying. But I believe, and Ben Simmons believe, that they have built this team around Joel Embiid, and I'm expendable. I'm just trying to speed up the process. That's all I'm trying to do.
I told you. This is a dead solid fact. This was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I got it from a high-placed source in that organization that they favored Ben over Joel for the duration, in part because Joel, something's always wrong with him. So they deemed at that point, it was 2 seasons ago, that Ben was more valuable for the long haul. So, and I don't doubt that they still feel that deep down. Joel's a 7-foot monster. When he's right, he's righter than Ben will ever think about being, to me.
But he's going to miss somewhere between 20 and 30 games a season.
All right, I got it. So, to me, my gut feeling is, I'm saying to you, I believe Ben will be there all year long. And then we'll see what happens in the post.
I think somebody's hoping that all of a sudden, Skip, somebody gets off to a bad start, and then, and then let's go ahead and...
If they get blown away by one, listen, the Kyrie makes so much sense to me because Kyrie would be a great fit with the Sixers.
With a guy that can shoot from the outside, can handle the ball, put him in the pick and roll with him and Joel Embiid.
And to me, Kyrie and James are kind of not a great fit for the Nets, even though it worked when they were together, which was very few times last year. But you put Ben in that starting rotation with let James be the point guard and Kevin on one wing. Now let Ben do what he does. Just let him be a player. Like Blake was last year. He was just a basketball player. He just did whatever needed to get done. Well, I think that would make them equally strong.
Right. You can play pick. Now James Harden can play pick and roll with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons rolling to the basket, dunking the ball, laying it up, or, shooting a little floater.
And it makes you stronger defensively.
Absolutely.
Because Kyrie is not exactly a top-level defender.
Because you can take Ben Simmons and put him on the opposing team's best player.
Absolutely. So I think that's like fit for fit.
Right.
The trade that makes both teams maybe not better, but at least as good.
Yes.
Right? That's the only one that makes sense. And we're going to talk about Kyrie in a few minutes because it seems like that thing's on hair trigger now.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like Kevin and James are starting to turn on him.
You know it
and
was.
starting to say, well, wait a second, we can't even depend on him to play. Yeah, okay, so why,
there you have it.
Why do we even want to go forward with it? Okay.
So, but I just think the thing is that Ben Simmons caused the ruckus that he wanted, let him know that he was serious about wanting to get out.
He made his point.
Yes.
And he took his stand.
Right.
Okay, so here we go.
So
now,
you believe he plays the whole season?
I do, unless the Kyrie trade materializes.
Right. The Kyrie, the Kyrie, it just makes sense, Skip.
Okay, I don't know if Kyrie would sit still.
Well, that ain't got nothing to do with that.
Because Kyrie's saying, I brought Kevin here, and now you want me out of here?
Yeah, you brought Kevin, but I can't. Skip, how you going to work half the year? You get a job and say, I'm going to work half the year.
You can't do it. I know.
And then you take off. Skip, I just can't leave all of a sudden. You show up like, well, where's Shannon? And then I call after the show. I call Charlie and Witt. Man, I ain't going to be there for a while. I'll get back with. What kind of bull job is that?
Over vaccination.
Yeah.
No.
But that wasn't over no vaccination. That's just like he needed some time.
Yeah, no, I got it. Right.
What?
Taking some time. I don't think that would work for us, Shannon.
No, I don't think so either, nor should it.
We're a team.
No.
Jeez, we all got to be here. We are going to return to our big story today. John Gruden, the departure from the Raiders. More on